everybody! So today we're going to talk about my top tips for you for bathing your dog at home. Good morning everybody! So it is early enough, it's about 9 a.m. now as I'm recording this for you. If you're new here, my name is Linda Roach and every week I do videos all about dogs. So I am a professional dog groomer, which is why I like to give my tips and tricks for grooming your dog at home. I'm also the proud dog mama to 2 rescue dogs, one of which is slightly reactive in certain areas, can be with humans, can be with dogs, so I like to give my tips on that too and talk about that and rescue dogs, and yeah, it's just all dogs all the time. So if that's something that you think you might be interested in, then if you like this video, please like it and please subscribe for a lot more doggy related videos. Okay guys, so today we're going old school. I have my little notepad here with all my notes. You know, I like to keep them in front of me so that I don't talk too much. Let's be real, that doesn't stop me anyway, but imagine how long the videos would be if I didn't have the notebook, okay? You know? So today I also have my cup of coffee as it's so early, and this is actually my little Stitch and Angel cup, which was actually a gift from my sister. If you can't tell already, I have a slight obsession with mugs, and I think one of my things is going to be for all my kind of sit down videos. Maybe I can show you the different mugs I have. So I think this is like the 3rd mug I've showed you now. But yeah, I do have a slight little addiction maybe with it, which is why people gift them to me all the time. But I mean, there are worse addictions, right? So yeah, a little sip of coffee. Very good, and let's get into the video. So for this video, I'm going to do a little bit of mix and match, we'll say. So I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to be talking you through all the different things, but at the same time, I'm going to have little videos inserted here and there to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So to be honest, it just so happens that I needed to bathe both Oscar and Elka, or Ellie for short, because we have kind of a busy weekend. We're going to Puck tomorrow, which you're going to see in the next vlog, which will be on Friday. Oh, actually, you'll see on the vlog before this, so I will link it up here. But yeah, so she's going to Puck, and then Oscar's going to work with Joe. But I mean, they're a bit smelly, so they need another bath. And when I was doing the bath, I was thinking, or when I was planning to do the bath, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I can do a little video giving you all the tips that I use when I'm bathing them. Maybe it might help you, so that's why I'm here. Okay, so for this I actually have 11 tips because I have a little bonus tip for you at the end. But yeah, we have 10 core tips and then we have a little bonus tip at the end. So yeah, I'll run through all the different tips and hopefully they help you out. So my first tip for you is to use lukewarm water. A lot of people actually don't know this, but you have to keep the water kind of at lukewarm temperature. This just means that it is better for their skin and for their hair, and it doesn't burn them, obviously. Now, depending on the time of the year, I might keep it a little on the warmer side of lukewarm, because sometimes it's hard to get that balance, and then you see the dogs like shaking and everything because they're cold, because it's on the colder side. So I do keep it a little bit on the warmer side, but I wouldn't have it warm either. It would be lukewarm to warm. So number 2 is, if you're bathing your dog at home, get yourself a non-slip mat for the bath if you don't have one already. Now obviously this makes sense from a safety point of view, that you don't want your dog slipping around, but it actually makes your life easier, because if the dog feels uneasy or like they can't stand properly, then they're going to panic, and then when the water comes they're going to freak out, and then that's their experience, and once they get out they don't want to go back in again because they're slipping and sliding and it hurts them and they fall and they just panic. So if they can actually stand and stay stable inside in the bath, they're more likely to be okay with everything else. And that's just something I've noticed from grooming a lot of dogs. It's the ones that slip, you have a harder time trying to reassure them that the ground isn't going to come from under them. If you don't have a non-slip mat and you've ordered one from Amazon, let's say, or something like that, hasn't arrived yet, another idea would be to use a towel. Just put a towel on the bottom of it, of your bath. Yes, I know the towel's going to be really soggy and everything, and you're going to have to wring it out afterwards and everything, but it'll give them that surface where they can stand on it properly and not slip over. Number 3 is if you have a dog that is scared of water, use a jug. I'm not even scared of water, but even the noise of the water, use a jug, because yes, it will take you longer, but I use a jug for Oscar and we just get over it and we do it because he has no problem with this. The jug doesn't make noise. You can put the jug next to his skin so it's not like this force of water coming down onto him. And yeah, with the jug he's absolutely fine. He'll stand there, he'll get over it. He is a long-haired dog, so obviously it takes longer, but the jug has no noise and no water pressure, so it's more likely that if your dog is afraid of you showering once that you put the water on or anything like that. Also, I don't recommend doing it in a shower, do it in a bath, but if, like, we have a hose attachment, and if that's turned on, he's just really scared. So yeah, use a jug where possible. I'm telling you, it'll change everything. 4, let's talk about that hose attachment. If you don't have one, get one, unless your dog's scared of it, of course, but even with that you can kind of build it up too. So you might not have kind of the ability to get one like mine and attach it to your bathtub, but there are ones that you can slip over the sink taps. That's what I was trying to say. The taps on the bath. So you can get one that goes over that, and I'll put a picture here. And if you get one of those, then you can just attach it, and there's actually not much pressure in that usually, so the noise isn't kind of too strong, but if you can, that's going to make your bathing experience with your dog so much quicker. Another thing is, if you have the hose attachment and your dog is afraid of it, but let's say you've got a big dog like a Newfie or a St. Bernard, and the jug thing is just not going to work unless you have 2 other people with jugs, then what I would suggest as well is get the hose and put it straight to the coat. So don't let there be so much pressure and so much noise because you're holding it far away and that scares the dog. Put it close to the coat so there's no noise, and usually the pressure isn't too much unless it's a really small dog. It's not too much. So just run it over your dog like that, and when there's no noise, a lot of the time it doesn't scare them. So you can try that if the jug just simply isn't an option for you. So the next thing I want to talk about is a noose. Get yourself a noose, okay? Because I don't understand why people try to put their dog in the bath and expect their dog to stand there. No dog is going to stand there, let me tell you. I am a dog groomer and I can count on one hand, probably less, how many dogs are going to stay in the bathtub without being attached into the bathtub. It's just not going to happen. My sister's dog, who unfortunately we lost last month, he would have happily sat in the bath. He loved being groomed and pampered, but he was rare. I'm telling you, no matter how calm you think your dog is, put them in a bath, turn on the water and see what happens. No, you put the noose on your dog and attach it to the bath safely. Make sure they're not choking. Obviously, you want to do this kind of check before you even start the water, start anything. You want to make sure they're safe. Once you know they're safe, they're not going to slip because they've got a surface that they can stand on, and they're not going to choke themselves because of slipping or anything like that. Then you can go ahead and start the rest of the bath. But you will notice if you've tried to wash your dog without a noose, as soon as you put the noose on, everything goes so much smoother because Usually a dog's running around mad and then you put a lead on them and they'll stand next to you. It's kind of like the same thing. Once they're secured, they calm down. So Noose. 6 is shampoos. So for my shampoo, I get a mixer bottle, and this is kind of the groomer way of bathing a dog. You get your mixer bottle and you get your shampoos, your conditioners, and then you mix it up with water in the bottle. If you get a groomer style or concentrated shampoo or conditioner, you need to dilute it. You can't use it concentrated. It will cause irritation. Could even possibly burn the dog, as in chemically, because it's so concentrated depending on what you get. And at the very least, even if it doesn't do any of that, it is a huge waste of shampoo. So yeah, get your mixer bottle if you are going to groom your dog solely for the rest of its life at home. I do recommend you nearly go down the groomer route with it, because it's going to save you a lot more money. So I'll put down links down to my the ones that I pick up or ones that I like, and with them you put in your water first. So you fill up the mixer bottle to the mark where you need it to be. It will say the ratio on the bottle somewhere, so usually 10:1. I actually usually go over that, so I put a little bit more water and a little bit less shampoo. But as long as you're doing it to the ratio, then or more, you'll be fine. Like more water, you'll be fine. And it just means that your shampoo will last longer, and you'll probably get a better clean out of it a lot of the times as well, because they're not customer shampoos. And yeah, so if you have any questions about that, you can leave me a comment below and I can tell you more about the shampoos and things like that. But yeah, there is a wide selection of shampoos, so you're going to find something that will suit your dog. They have everything from hypoallergenic to fox poo, stinky, dirty dog, so you're going to find something that will suit your dog and it will last longer. Just make sure to follow the instructions. It works with shampoo and conditioner as well. Adding on to this, there are some extras you can use. Now, I don't use these with Oscar and Ellie personally yet, because it's a bit too much, I think, for them. But I do have used on other dogs. I use on grooming clients. They love it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is one that I will constantly repurchase, and that is the Tropiclean Blueberry Facial. Love this. If your dog, if you have a white dog in particular, it works well for it, but it works well with every dog. It works well if your dog gets like eye buildup or anything like that, and it also makes them smell amazing too, their face. So if you have a dog that is more than happy to have a little facial, then this is the way to go with it. I also like the paw soak. That's good for winter time, especially because their paws are cracked, or in the height of summer as well. It can be good for that too. Just when their paws are a little bit sore or a little bit I don't know, overworked maybe, if they're on hikes or if they're doing a lot of activities, it can be good for that as well. I also have the Tropiclean White Brightening. This is specifically really for white dogs, and it's for the staining in particular that they get around their mouth and eyes from their saliva. These are good ones to add in. Again, if your dog is okay with it, mine are not yet, so I don't use it on them. Tip 7. This is probably one you have not heard of before. So this is when you are bathing your dog, leave your dog's head to last. So when you're bathing your dog, your dog has shook all over you and you probably get just as much of a shower as they did. Am I right? Well, a lot of that is to do with the water on the head. So when you're starting to bathe them from the neck down. Start that, and they will not shake on you at all. So usually I go from like we'll say the base of the neck down, and I do the entire body and they don't shake, and then at the last minute I then do the face and the head, and they're probably going to shake on you then. But at least it's only for the end of it, and you can kind of time it, or plan for it almost, because you're gonna, usually I put water all over the head, I step back, maybe put a little towel up, because I know they're gonna shake, and then when they stop shaking, I put on their little facial or their shampoo, do their ears, and then do water again, stand back and shake. They will probably shake. I don't shake. So yeah, but if you have a habit, or your dog has a habit of shaking all over you from the second they get in the bath, and you have to put on almost a wetsuit to bathe them, it's probably because you're starting with the head, or you're putting water onto the head first. I'm telling you, try it out. Let me know if your dog stops shaking. So, number 8, towel dry as much as you can. So it doesn't matter if your dog likes the dryer or not. Mine do not, so I have to let them dry naturally. But whether they do or not, towel dry as much as you can, because it means that it's going to be so much quicker for drying them. Most dogs, I think nearly every dog I have ever come in contact with, had no issue with the towel. I mean, Ellie and Oscar, as being rescues, were a little scared of it the first time I brought it, because they were like, what was this? But they have no issue with it, because it's really just attention more than anything else for them. You rub them and you're like being all swishy and nice, and they love it. So do that as much as you can, get all that, as much as that moisture out as you can, and then do your drying after that. With the drying, I use a blaster, so one of these guys, and I love it, but it is loud and it is like forceful. It's a force dryer, so it's basically, the aim of it is to force the water off the skin and off the hair. It is not like our hair dryers. Our hair dryers are use heat to dry our hair. With those hair dryers, they use force, because obviously you can't really use heat with the dogs. So that is why that is. So, however, I do use a human hair dryer too, because a lot of dogs have a fear of the force dryer, and that is only natural because it's loud and the air is coming at them. If you're doing always start at the end, work your way up to the head, obviously, because if you start at the head, then game over. They're probably not going to let you dry the rest of their body. But even so, I always start at the base, work up, and then when I know it's too much for them, or I know that's the limit, they're not going to let me go any further, I will use the hairdryer on a cool or lowest setting, and I keep it far enough away from them. And a lot of the time I use my hand to, ruffle up the hair. What am I saying? And then a lot of time I will use my hand to go through the hair. It also means that I can feel how hot the hairdryer is on the hair, but it also helps me to dry it with using my hand as well. So yes, sometimes you can use a hairdryer. In fact, if you only have a hairdryer and you have a small dog, you probably can just use your hairdryer at home. Just make sure it's on a cool setting and don't burn them, and use your hand every now and then to not only check the heat on the dog, but like the heat of the air coming out as well, because even though you've moved on, maybe you can feel the dog is like after getting really hot in that area, and then don't come back to that area for a few minutes, or move your hairdryer further away and make those adjustments for it. Right, so tip number 9, if you have a dog that you have to towel dry and that you have to leave dry naturally, bathe in the morning. This just means they have the entire day to run around and dry off. Don't leave your dog outside if it is cold weather, because they can get sick just like humans. If you wouldn't really go out wet hair if it was really, really cold outside. And it's the same with dogs, and that's all over their body, so they can get sick as well. And then if it's really cold, I mean, in snowy weather and everything like that, you don't want them to actually freeze, so you don't want that either. Bathe in the morning, keep them inside until they dry. If you have a longer haired dog, like Oscar for example, then you're going to want to brush your dog kind of periodically throughout the day to make sure they don't get matted as they dry. This shouldn't really happen in the house. It depends on the type of breed you have, but in general, if your dog's inside, it shouldn't really happen, but check for it anyway, because once that's dry, it's just going to be so much harder as well. So just brush through lightly and go on about your day, and then maybe a few hours later do the same thing again. Number 10 is always reward afterwards, because Oscar hated bathing. In fact, he still does. Yesterday, he saw me get the noose and put it into the bathroom, so he stayed downstairs in the living room and refused to go up the stairs because he thought it was bath time. So he hates it. However, as you can see, he does put up with it and he does get on with it. And then at the end, he knows he's getting a treat. So, I think it does definitely help knowing that that treat is coming, and the more positive reinforcement we can give to a dog, the better. If the bathing is just in the middle of your grooming process, we'll say, then just give a little treat, Whereas if, like Oscar, bathing is the process and then like he dries for the day and we move on and do something a different day, then I give him like a dentist stick or something he can chew on, something that's a bit more of a valuable currency, we'll say, like a proper reward, because it is a big thing for him. He hates it. So yes, reward. Maybe play a game of tug of war or something if they're not into treats. You know your dog better, but reward. So, last but not least, I have my little bonus tip here for you, and that is, if you were doing your dog's nails or cleaning your dog's ears, do it after bathing. So, when you bathe your dog, same as humans, their nails get softer. This makes them easier to trim and less of a big deal for your dog, I guess, because they're softer, there's not that much noise, you don't have to put that much pressure on it, and yeah, so if you're going to trim your dog's nails, do it after. If you're going to clean your dog's ears, clean them after, because sometimes water goes in there, or the moisture and the build up, so if you clean it, you're cleaning out that moisture too. The only thing I will say is, if you're plucking your dog's ears, so that is with, we'll say, schnauzers, poodles, Bichons, that kind of breed. If you have to pluck your dog's ears, then do that before. So put in your powder, pluck the dog's ears, do your bath, afterwards do your dog's ears, as in clean them out after, and do the nails as well, and that will be a better routine for you. And that is all my tips that I have for you today. If I left something out, or maybe I wasn't clear on something for you, then please leave a comment below, ask me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully I'll be able to help you out with it. But yeah, that is me for today, I think. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. It helps my channel so much, and I love every time a new person comes on board. I'm like, woohoo! New pack members, I get so excited. So if you think that you would enjoy weekly dog videos, then please join the pack and click that subscribe button. Yeah, so also, I was doing once a week videos, but I've decided that I just want to do more videos, okay? So every now and then I'm going to put in two videos a week. Actually, I think it's going to be more often than every now and then. I'm not holding myself to it, as in I have to do two videos every week, but I do think it's going to be more like 2 videos a week from now on, if that's okay with you guys, if you're okay looking at me that much. But yeah, I am really enjoying this whole YouTube thing, and I just want to do more of it. So I am going to leave you go for now, but I will see you again very soon. Bye, friends.